Now it's time for the lightning round with Brad Butt. Brad, are you all set to go?
Yep, let's roll, David.
All right. The COVID cases are on the rise in Ontario. How are we doing in Peel Region, and how might it affect the back to office plans?
Well, Peel Region's numbers are higher than they have been in the past number of weeks, but I mean, they're not higher as a percentage compared to the rest of the province, but the provincial numbers are starting to look quite worrisome. And now there is some talk about whether we're going to get back to capacity limits and some business closures, God forbid a lockdown. It's some bad news on the horizon.
Yeah, this is not looking good for businesses, especially restaurants. I guess they're just hoping they can hang on until after Christmas, when their numbers would fall off just because of the January slowdown. Proof of immunization, changes on that front that are coming into an effect, and a QR code that is going to replace those certificates that are done by hand now. So what's the latest news?
Well, the Ontario government has decided to extend the time frame for the proof of immunization program. It was due to wrap up January 17th. Now there's an indefinite date on that. But starting on January the 4th, those businesses that require mandatory proof of immunization must use only those QR codes that you can download from the Ministry of Health website. They will no longer accept paper copies for proof of immunization.
Brad, the extended leave or emergency leave is extended to July. Anything else extended in that legislation?
So the Minister of Labour in Ontario announced a couple of days ago that the paid sick leave program, so the 3 days of paid sick leave reimbursed through the Workplace Safety and Insurance Board, will continue to July of next year, as will this infectious disease leave program, which means that if you have to lay somebody off as a result of COVID, that it doesn't lead to what's known as constructive dismissal, i.e. you have fired that person and therefore they're entitled to severance. That's being extended to July as well.
Minister Freeland was giving her fiscal update. Lots of things for the minister to consider. We've got inflation that's on the rise, supply chain, which is affecting GDP. Any surprises or notables in her update?
Well, she is delivering that at 4 p.m. on December the 14th, so we'll know in a couple of hours. Unfortunately, the taping of this, we didn't have it publicly, but having said that, we sort of know where it is. A bunch of new money being spent in Indigenous services areas and reconciliation. That's clearly going to be announced later today. More support for pandemic funding of programs. And yes, a focus on inflation, because it is becoming a huge issue.
At the Peel Region, Peel Council approves a new process on choosing the chair. What's the new process, and how is this going to affect the way council operates?
Well, guess how lucky you could be to be elected as a regional councillor in your ward, and then also run to be the regional chair. That's the new system. Any member of regional council in Peel will now be also eligible to run and be elected or appointed as the regional chair and wear those two hats. Not quite sure how this is going to work out if that scenario does take place, but we'll certainly have to see. I see a lot of conflicts of interest and other problems arising from this.
That's it for the lightning round. Brad, we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, David.